accident, and did you know, according to the Mental Health Foundation in 2019, that 37% of teens are ashamed of their bodies in some type of way? And I believe that that's over 1/3 of teens, and that is extremely disheartening. I feel like this issue spreads across, or like to us as well in our school. As a person that has been insecure about some features about my face or my body, I feel deeply connected to this issue, and I've been researching this for about 2 weeks. Today I will be persuading you on why physical appearance and the emphasis on looks should not matter in our society. I will be going over the problems / harms of this issue, potential barriers and causes of this issue, and potential solutions of this issue. Firstly, I will be going over the problems and harms of this issue, such as insecurity among teens, eating disorders, and toxic communities. Firstly, I want to talk about insecurity among teens, as you saw in the statistic. 37% of teens experience being ashamed about their bodies. Usually, as children, we tend to form opinions on our bodies already, but as we get older, we tend to compare ourselves to other people, and as we're going through things like puberty, as our bodies are changing, hormones and such, it leads to insecurity and low self-esteem among teenagers, and potentially depression. Then I want to talk about eating disorders. Eating disorders are usually because of unhappiness within your own body and the drive for thinness. So these unusual eating habits do cause low self-esteem, but also low self-esteem causes eating disorders. So it makes a positive feedback loop that's really hard to get out of. And I believe that there's people literally starving themselves to look a certain way, and you cannot tell me that that's not a real issue in our society. And when I talk about toxic communities, I mainly want to go over this community called the Black Pill community. And it goes over the ideology that, well, looks dictate everything in your life, where your physical appearance dictate your financial success, your dating success, and your overall happiness. And this community is very toxic, it's very misogynistic, it's racist, and it preys on insecurities of teenagers in order to gain a following, and it's really harmful to our community. It takes feature every facial aspect of your and ratios of your face, and just gives you a rating, and it is really toxic. And over the years, I feel like this community has been gaining traction, especially over young teenage boys, and I potentially think it's going to snowball into a really big issue later down in the future. Now that I went over the problems and harms of this issue, I want to go over potential barriers and causes of this issue. So these are pictures from the right side about the different eras of beauty. And this one's in the 1990s, and this one is in the 2010s. And it shows, it's basically night and day, where as you can see, the beauty standards, especially for women, are constantly changing, and it makes it seem like that people's bodies are trends and fads, and when people that chase the beauty standard, it's impossible because it's constantly changing over the years, and it's extremely harmful for young teenagers, because a lot of people don't look like this. And yeah. The halo effect. The halo effect is, what it means is that traits like physical appearance can also spill over to potential positive traits, such as being likable and such. And in a study according to Perret, in a study in 2015, attractive servers on average made $1,200 more compared to less conventionally attractive servers, and it proves that this is a real issue, and it's a cognitive bias. But I feel like if we put more attention onto this, we can help alleviate that issue. I want to talk about technology and the effects on this issue. I feel like technology such as media like TikTok and Instagram have further exacerbated this issue, and the discrepancy between the unrealistic beauty standards you see on the algorithm of TikTok and Instagram self-esteem and such. As this, I took this yesterday of like a person, of like a bodybuilding person, and like you can't tell me like a person that's like 13 years old, and when they see this all the time, they're not gonna feel bad about their own self. So now that I talked about potential barriers and causes of this problem, I want to go over some potential solutions to this. I believe education and like having teachers, parents, policymakers, but especially media to teach you about the societal pressures and and unrealistic beauty standards portrayed in the media could help alleviate this issue and teach teenagers about social literacy and media literacy and critical thinking skills. And I believe having like open discussions about these societal pressures could also help with this issue. Also, I believe that beauty is not truly objective in the world, such as according to Bellorens in 2024, that crooked teeth in Japan for women is often desirable because it signifies youthfulness, and while us in the States, we believe that straight teeth are like objectively beautiful, and that's why we cling to our races. And even more bizarre is lip plates in Ethiopia. While it's bizarre to us, is beautiful in their cultures, and I believe that celebrating differences between people's and the differences in other like cultures can also help alleviate this issue and create a more welcoming community and such. For my action step, I want everyone to look in the mirror, write down one feature they may be insecure about, and just research about where potential like people that have like actors that have that feature, or like where that is beautiful and what it symbolizes in other cultures. For example, I used to be insecure about my ears, and big ears signify like wisdom and intelligence in Eastern Asian countries. And yeah. Now that in conclusion, I went over the I persuaded you. I persuaded you on why physical appearance and looks should not matter in society, and I went over the problems, potential causes and barriers, and solutions to this issue. And for my final thoughts, I believe that people should not be judged off of the features that they're born with, but instead their merit and their contents of the hair.